Now next is the definition of orthogonal vectors. So in an inner product space, we say that two vectors are orthogonal if their inner product is non-zero. I mean, if I want to give an example of orthogonal vector, let me consider the vector space, the inner product space actually. So example, so I'll consider inner product space as R2 and my inner product as, so x is equal to, I'll say x1 x2 and y is equal to y1 y2, and my inner product is the usual dot product. So inner product of x with y is equal to x1 y1 plus x2 y2. Okay, in this way. So so if I think of this vector, yeah, so suppose my x is, if x is equal to -1 1 and y is equal to 1 1. So are these two vectors orthogonal? Let us check. So what will be my inner product of x with y? So here inner product of x with y will be equal to -1 multiplied by 1 is -1 plus 1 multiplied by 1 is 1, which is equal to 0, and therefore you can say x and y are orthogonal. Now note one thing that this depends on the inner product. Okay, what is given to us. आता जर मी इनर प्रोडक्ट इथे बदलला तर मग एक्स एंड वाय ऑर्थोगोनल असतीलच असं नाही आहे. ओके, so this orthogonality totally depends on what is the inner product of on our inner product space. Now depending upon this, there is a Pythagoras theorem. So the statement of the Pythagoras theorem says if x and y are orthogonal to each other, then norm of x plus y square is equal to norm of x square plus norm of y square, and this is very easy to prove. Okay, can you see the proof, how to prove it? Just I will tell you the proof in short. So what you are supposed to do is, since x and y are orthogonal, it is simply the hint. Since x and y are orthogonal, so you can say inner product of x with y is equal to 0. So this is given. Okay. So what I will do is, in order to prove it, I will start with LHS. So my LHS is norm of x plus y square, which can be further written as inner product of x plus y with x plus y. And if you go on solving it, we have already done it once. So it will be inner product of x with x plus twice inner product of x with y and plus inner product of y with y. But this inner product of x with y is given 0. So this entire term is going to be 0. Therefore it will be inner product of x with x, but inner product of x with x is norm of x square, and whatever this inner product of y with y is there, that is norm of y square, and that is what exactly we wanted to prove. Isn't it? Proof is simple. Now the next thing is, over here we will discuss some examples. So over here it is said that show that there is no real number k for which these two vectors are orthogonal in the first example, and in the second example we have to find the value of k for which these two vectors are orthogonal. So let us do it. Okay, yes, so show that there is no real number k such that these two vectors are orthogonal. So first I will say let this 1 4 minus 1 k and 4 2 2 k be orthogonal, let us say, and let us solve it and let us see what happens. So since these are orthogonal, therefore what will happen? Now since inner product is not mentioned, so whenever inner product is not mentioned, we are going to use the inner product as dot product, as I have told you before. Okay, so this is equal to 0, and once you go on solving, what you will get, 1 multiplied by 4 is 4, 4 multiplied by 2 is 8, so minus 1 multiplied by 2 is minus 2, and k multiplied by k is k square is equal to 0. This will imply k square plus 8 plus 4 is 12, 12 minus 2 is 10 is equal to 0, and this will imply k square is equal to minus 10, and that will imply k is imaginary, because if k square is minus 10, then k will be having the imaginary value, and therefore there will not exist any real number k, okay, such that these two vectors are orthogonal. So therefore I'll say there exists no real number k for which given vectors are orthogonal, for which given vectors are orthogonal. Now let us go for this second example. So over here we are supposed to find the value of k for which it is given that these two vectors are orthogonal. Okay, so I'll say since these two vectors are orthogonal, 1 1 minus 1 2 and 1 2 2 k are orthogonal, therefore what will happen is their inner product will be 0, 1, 1, minus 1, 2 with 1, 2, 2, k will be equal to 0, and if you solve it, it will be 1 multiplied by 1 is 1, 1 multiplied by 2 is 2, 1 minus 1 multiplied by 2 is minus 2, plus 2 multiplied by k is 2, k will be equal to 0, 2 and 2 will get cancelled out. This will imply 1 plus 2k is equal to 0, and this will imply k is equal to minus half. So for this value of k, these two vectors will be orthogonal. Now we will jump towards the next concept, that is angle between the vectors. So if V is the inner product space and xy belongs to V, then the formula for angle between the vectors is given somewhat like this, and this is simply the geometrical interpretation. So if x is your vector and this y is your vector, then inner product of x with y is equal to norm of x multiplied by norm of y cos theta, and you can easily prove it with the help of some geometrical construction, which we are not going to go in details. So what we'll do is we are going to use this formula to find the angle between the vectors. So we'll see few examples. So over here we have to find the angle between this vectors over here. Okay, the inner product is mentioned. So this is the inner product in first example, and in second example the inner product is given by integral. Okay, so let us do it. So first of all I'll write down the formula. So we have inner product of p with q is equal to norm of p multiplied by norm of q multiplied by cos of theta, where theta is angle between p and q. Therefore what will be my cos theta? My cos theta will be inner product of p with q upon norm of p multiplied by norm of q. So first of all what we will do is, first of all we will find the numerator, that is inner product of p with q, and later on then we will go forward the denominator, that is we will find norm of p and norm of q. So what I will do is I will call it as some 1, let me say. Okay, so let us find the first of all the inner product of p with q. So I'll say now here inner product of p with q is equal to, okay, so what is p of minus 1? Now since p of x is given to be x, so p of minus 1 will be minus 1, q of minus 1 will be minus 1 square, am I right, plus p of 0 will be 0, therefore the entire term will be 0, don't think about it. So p of 1 will be 1, q of 1 will be 1 square, which is again 1. So if you solve it, I think it will be minus 1 and plus 1, which is again 0. So numerator comes out to be 0, so there is no need of calculating the denominator. So whatever the denominator is there, it is going to be obviously the non-zero quantity, but since numerator is 0, this cos theta is going to be 0 only. So therefore I'll call it as 2, use 2 in 1. Therefore cos theta will be equal to 0, and for which value of theta your cos is 0? I guess it is pi by 2, and therefore the angle between the vectors in this case is what? Pi by 2. And actually the geometrical meaning of orthogonal vectors is the same thing. Okay, orthogonal, why they are using the word orthogonal? Because they are using the word orthogonal since orthogonal means perpendicular only. Okay, so in other words, geometrical interpretation of orthogonal vectors is what? Actually they are perpendicular to each other. So therefore in this example we got the inner product to be 0. Okay, so inner product is 0, it means they are orthogonal, p and q. Since p and q is orthogonal, what should be the angle between them? That is pi by 2, and therefore we got theta to be equal to pi by 2. Okay, now but this example is little bit different, the b1. Okay, so let us do it. So I'll say we have, what is our formula? We have inner product of f with g will be equal to norm of f multiplied by norm of g and multiplied by cos of theta. Therefore my cos of theta over here will be inner product of f with g upon norm of f multiplied by norm of g, and I am going to call it as some 1. Now first of all what we will do is, first of all we will find the numerator and then we will go for the denominator. Okay, so now over here inner product of f with g will be equal to integral 0 to 1 f of x g of x dx, but my value of f of x is 5x square, which I will use it. What is my value of g of x? 3x, I will use it, and dx over here. So let us go on solving it. So therefore this will be equal to, so first of all some space, so therefore this will be equal to 15x cube, I guess. So integral 0 to 1 15x cube dx, since 15 is a constant that can be taken out, and integral of x cube is x to the power 4 upon 4, which you might have learned in analysis. So this will be equal to 15 inside the bracket. First of all you are going to put the upper limit, that is 1 upon 4, then put the lower limit as x is equal to 0, so we'll have 0, and this is exactly 15 upon 4. So that is our numerator, I'll call it as 2. Now in order to calculate the denominator, we are supposed to calculate norm f as well as norm g. Okay, so first of all we'll go for norm f and then we'll go for norm g. So in order to calculate norm f, what I'm going to consider is, I'm going to consider norm of x square, then later on I'll take the square roots on both sides. So it will be inner product of f with f, which is equal to integral 0 to 1 f of x multiplied by f of x dx. Now let us see what is the value of f of x that is given to us. So the value of f of x, I think it is 5x square that we will use. So this will be equal to integral 0 to 1 5x square multiplied by 5x square dx. But you know 5 multiplied by 5 is 25, which can be taken out. So integral 0 to 1 x to the power 4 dx. So which will be further equal to 25, and integration of this is x to the power 5 upon 5, limits varies from 0 to 1. This is 25 inside the bracket 1 upon 5, and that is exactly 5. So I got norm of f square to be 5. So therefore what will be my norm f? My norm f is going to be root 5. Just a minute. So therefore by taking positive square roots on both sides, therefore my norm f comes out to be root 5. I'll call it as 2. Now again I am going to consider inner product of norm of g square actually. So norm of g square is equal to inner product of g with g, which will be integral 0 to 1 g of x with g of x dx. Now let us see what is our value of g of x, and my value of g of x I guess is g of x is what, 3x. So that can be used over here. So just again I will make some space, so which is equal to integration 0 to 1 3x multiplied by 3x dx. So that 3 multiplied by 3, 9 can be taken out, integral 0 to 1 x square dx, which is equal to 9. Integration of x square is x cube upon 3, limit varies from 0 to 1, which is equal to 9 upon 3, and which I guess is 3. And therefore in this case our norm of g is what, root 3. Therefore our norm of g over here is root 3. Now we got the value of norm of g, so we have to use this value of norm of f, norm of g, as well as inner product of f with g in our formula. So I'll call it as 3. So I'll say use 2, this should be 3, right? Okay, this should be 3 and this should be 4. So I'm going to use 2, 3 and 4 in 1, right? So this is my 4. So use 2, 3 and 4 in 1. Therefore my cos theta will be, okay, I think numerator is 15 upon 4 upon, now denominator will be root 5 multiplied by root 3, which will be equal to 15 upon 4, and root 5 multiplied by root 3 is root 15, which further can be written as, numerator can be written as root 15 multiplied by root 15 upon 4 multiplied by root 15, which can be cancelled out, and therefore your cos theta is root 15 upon 4. Okay, therefore cos theta is root 15 upon 4, and therefore your theta is cos inverse, because we don't know any standard value of theta in this case. So simply write down like this, and that is nothing but our angle between the given vectors f and g. Isn't it interesting? So in this way you can solve many examples, you can construct your own examples also, and you can find what the angle between the two vectors. So that's all for today. In the next class we are going to start with a new concept, that is projection. In fact it is called as the orthogonal projection. So we'll stop here. Thank you.